How's it going? Thank you for joining me on my first ever YouTube video. My name is Alex. This is the Lazy Genius Tarot and Bazaar. Again, thank you for joining me for my first ever YouTube video. Here, I think we are going to start out with just a quick walkthrough of the decks in my collection. I know a lot of people like to watch deck collection videos. I do myself as well. So yeah, I think that's how I'm going to start the channel off here, is with some deck walkthroughs of the collection here. And I will do individual walkthroughs of each of these decks, but at this time when we go through them today, I am just going to kind of give a quick flip through and then move on to the next one, so I could try to keep it short. I've got about 70 decks, I think. So I definitely want to be able to show them all to you guys without them being super long videos. So I'll probably do it in parts. I probably won't make any one video more than 20-25 minutes long. I'll try. But this was the first deck that I ever bought. This is the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the only RWS clone that I own. Now, I call it that because it is redrawn. Pixie's signatures on none of the cards. And some of the details that are kind of important are missing. For instance, there are only 11 stars in her crown. There should be 12. It is a very astrological symbology there, a star for each of the zodiacs or the lunar cycles of the year. Let's see here. And like I said, this was my first deck. It's out of order because I've been working with it a lot. But definitely love this deck. Like I said, it was the first one I ever got. I actually don't have the box for this deck anymore. I threw it away when I got the cloth and the bag that matches. I got them on Etsy. I don't think that they're available anymore. But, you know, it kind of worked out. It matches pretty well. So I got the cloth and the bag, and when I did, I kind of threw away the box. I keep the little white book in there with it, and then just roll that up, stuff it in the bag, and that's how that one stays. Now, I think we will go to the yellow box. This is a 1991 Switzerland print. It has the hand-drawn titles on the cards and the small copyright. It's one of my favorite decks. It's easily my favorite card stock on any of the decks that I own. Honestly, it's this. This is like butter for me. But I really like this deck. I like this one more than more recent versions of the deck. I'm not sure why, but I do really like this deck. The line work is super crisp in comparison to a lot of the decks that I've seen with the blown out lines, and the colors are very clear with this, in juxtaposition to some of the other tarot decks that are out there for Rider-Waite-Smith, where the colors are muted or blown out. But I like this one as well. If you want to see a full walkthrough on any of these decks, just comment down below. And I do plan on doing walkthroughs of all of my decks at some point. But if there's one specifically you want to see, just like I said, leave it in the comments below and I'll make sure to get to it. I just wanted to do a quick flip through of each of the decks for now, just for the collection video. This is my pre-copyright plaid back. I bought it without a box because I got it for a pretty good deal. It was a workhorse deck at one point in time. From my understanding, the lady that had it before, the lady that I bought it from, used it as her working deck in a shop for about 30 years. So it is a well-loved, well-worn deck. You can see the aging on the cards and the aging on the back. It's definitely starting to get that like old book tan yellow kind of thing going on the back there. Like I said, well-loved deck. There's like a little line on the Chariot card there. There's, a minor stain or two on a couple of the other cards, but in overall condition of the deck is actually really good, especially considering that, like I said, I bought it without a deck or without the tuck box, and it was a workhorse for someone for a good number of years. So I feel like I kind of lucked out. Like I said, I got it for a steal because it didn't come with the box, but it is the pre-copyright yellow box. I believe it's a yellow box. I know that the yellow and the blue box were printed around the same time from the same factory by AGM in Belgium. So it could possibly be a blue box. It wouldn't be a blushing fool, of course, because those go for much more than what I got this deck for. But it was cool to be able to get a pre-copyright plaid back deck for such a good deal, because I really wanted one of the pre-copyright RWSs for the collection. Next, we will do the Centennial. There's the backs, and this is actually the one from the commemorative box set. And I didn't really want the rest of the stuff in the box set because it comes with like the pictorial key, but I have a 1959 printing with the color pictures, so I don't really need the book. The other Pamela Coleman Smith memorabilia, like the commemorative memorabilia that's in there, isn't necessarily something that intrigues me. Buying that box set was just the only way that I could get the cards with the borders at the time, because I could not find anything but the borderless Centennial Edition in just a normal tuck box when I was looking to buy this particular deck. So I ended up having to buy the box set, which I will probably eventually sell the books and prints and postcards that came in there at one point. But here is the deck. I like it because it's got like the faux edging, or the false edging, or not edging, but aging rather, on the cards there. I like how the colors are sort of they're dimmed. A lot of them look a little bit more clear, but the way that the aging effect was put on the cards make them look like they're at like dawn or dusk or in the dead of night. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just me. I like it though. I like the way that the fake aging on the cards has made the images come out. I like the way that the blues look in the background, and the grays and even the yellows in this deck are really nice. They're not like overbearing. I like it. I actually like this deck a lot more than I thought I was going to when I first got it, because I didn't think that I was going to like this deck very much. And then I really got a chance to use it some, and I like this deck a lot now. It's definitely one that's staying in the collection. I'm going to end up doing this one like I did with the Radiant, and buying it its own cloth and bag, because like I said, I am going to sell the box set commemorative stuff, and just keep the deck and sell the rest of that. I'm sure that there's somebody out there with the deck that would love to have the commemorative memorabilia from the commemorative set that didn't get a chance to get it, or maybe doesn't want to spend the whole $35 for everything, including a deck that they already have. Sorry for rambling. I think we'll do this one next. This is the original Rider-Waite-Smith. This is going to be one of the newer Chinese printings. Yeah, see, made in China. I recently posted on the Hermit's Cave group and Facebook that the cards were super bowed and that they were popping really hard when I would press them in the center. I'm happy to report that the bow has been relieved from these cards. I managed to get it to go away, and a lot of you guys were right. When it warmed up after shuffling with it for a little while, it loosened right back up and the bow disappeared. This one, I like this one because the colors seem a little bit like with this one, you know what I mean? How it's not like the blue sky with the gray clouds. The palette's been changed on it. This is the palette that kind of made me want it. Some of the cards, like with the Page of Pentacles, it's the yellow is really mustardy on the backgrounds of a lot of these, where it's like the night is a little bit brighter. I do like the seafoam greens in the background on a lot of these cards. And then like cards like this one here, where the background is not monotone, it's kind of like that faded background where you kind of get that sense of light behind the picture in the forefront. Like this one right here, how it's kind of faded in the center right there. I like that part. This is actually one of the cards that made me finally decide to get the deck in the first place, is the Death card. I don't know why, but I seen it in somebody's post and I was like, okay, I need that deck. The line work seems to be based on the Pam A, as it's got the squiggle line up here and the details in the sunflower. Just a piece of tarot, I guess you would say, trivia that I picked up from somebody's YouTube channel. I've watched so many YouTube videos about tarot that it's hard to keep track anymore. And then there's like another example of where the background's slightly faded out. I like that one. Like I said, I'm not going to walk through the full deck. If you do want to see a full walkthrough, though, just leave it in the comments, and I will definitely be sure to get to that. Next, we will do the AE Weight orange box from AGM. The first time I bought this deck, I accidentally bought the XL cards, and I don't really like the big cards like that, so I definitely had to find this one. It took me a while to find it. I ended up finding it from Belgium, I think, is where it shipped from. And I really like this deck. It's got the crackle backs. According to the back of the box, the line work and the backs of the cards and the colors are according to the first edition from 1909. So the line work, colors, and the backs are supposed to be based on the 1909. That's what the box says. It does have Pixie signature, but it does have typewritten font on the cards with labels. But if you can see, it does have the details there in the sunflower and the squiggly line over the top of the sun. The line work on this one and the colors on this one are both very bright and detailed, I guess you would say, because like the line work is all very clear and it's not muddled line work like you get on some decks. Like some of the line work on the original Rider-Waite-Smith that I just showed you is kind of muddled a little bit. Here we see that 12th star on the Empress's crown. So going back to the Radiant there, that's one of the reasons why I call that my clone RWS, because it's really close, but it's not quite the real thing. And then you've got, like I said, Pixie's signature. The eyes are closed on Temperance, which is another indicative sign of the artwork actually being based on the 1909. Again, that's tarot trivia that I picked up from you guys on YouTube. The line work in the King of Pentacles, this is one of the busiest cards in any Rider-Waite-Smith deck to me, and if I can see all the details of the grapes and the leaves and everything like that, then I'm usually pretty satisfied. And you know, everybody's got those cards that they look to as one of the first cards that they want to see when they pull out a deck, and this is one of those for me, because it's so much going on that I want to make sure I can see all the details and that everything's not muddled, because then I know that the rest of the line work in the deck will pretty much be good and easy to read and clear, rather than the blown out lines or muddled colors. So that is the orange box. Tarot of A.E. Waite. The book was written by Johannes Fiebig and Rachel Pollack. According to this on the inside, Johannes wrote the first few pages, pages 4 through 17, and then Rachel Pollack wrote the card definitions on 18 through page 95. Yes, you heard that right. It's a 95-page little white book. Pretty cool. Again, I will do full walkthroughs of any of these decks if you guys want to. I plan on doing a walkthrough of all of my decks at some point, so I will probably eventually get to all of them. Let me see here. So we did the Alright, so that takes care of all of the actual Rider-Waite-Smith decks, I believe, except for the minis. So I have the 2019 Chinese print of the mini yellow box. And again, I won't spend too much time on it. We all know what the yellow box cards looks like, but the mini cards here are definitely really clear for being so small. The line work on it is really nice, but it is just your average yellow box in mini form. I really like mini decks. I kind of have a thing for them. And then the other mini deck or pocket deck that I have is the Radiant Wise Spirit. I got the pocket version of this deck because I have this thing where I really like borders on my cards, especially my Rider-Waite-Smith cards. And I didn't really like the way that they did the images when they turned the Dirty Pam into the Radiant Wise Spirit borderless edition. So I actually prefer the borders, but I got this because it's essentially a pocket-sized Dirty Pam. And this will hold me over until I can actually get my hands on an actual copy of the Pamela Coleman Smith RWS Tarot from Los Scarabeo, which is the Dirty Pam. Now this is pretty cool too because on the mini there's no copyright on the front, and I don't see a copyright on the back either, and it's pretty much like that the entire way through the deck. So there is no copyright on the cards, which is really cool, but I love the coloring on all of these cards. I can't wait to get a copy of the Dirty Pam, like an actual Dirty Pam. That would be so cool. But the way that you can see the discoloration in the leaves as some of them grow old, as everything is coming to fruit. The colors in the Empress card are just so nice. Trying to get that to focus. And that is my Radiant Wise Spirit. Like I said, I will do a full walkthrough of all of my decks in my collection at some point. And that pretty much takes care of all my actual Rider-Waite-Smith decks. I do have some Rider-Waite-Smith based decks, like some RWS based decks that don't actually have the RWS artwork, but are definitely based on the system, and those will be in the next video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe, the like, and the notification buttons. Click the notification bell if you so choose to. I do plan on starting to get some content out there, so I definitely appreciate you guys bearing with me and tuning into my first video. Thank you very much. Have a great day.